Welcome back to the Anger Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Jay, we heard what happened yesterday. Kid Austin had to pull out of the fight because of illness, contamination. Somebody put cream in his cereal. I don't know what exactly occurred with Kid Austin. We did a poll yesterday. Many people felt, over 50% of the people, actually probably close to 60 or 70% of the people felt that either Kid Austin knew that an ass whooping was coming, or he let the pressure of the event get to him and he pulled out of the fight. I don't know what happened to Kid Austin. I wish him well. I hope he recovers quickly. But it is quite disappointing for me that we're not going to get the opportunity to see Shakur Stevenson in the ring with Kid Austin. I was curious to see how he dealt with a style like that, a style that would pressure him, a style that would be a physical presence in the ring against Shakur Stevenson. I wanted to see how he performed in that environment. Now, I always pick Shakur to win the fight. I was just curious to see how he handled it. But with that disappointment, Jay, comes a level of excitement because we get the opportunity to talk about the replacement. And he is being replaced by the mighty Josh Padley.
Who?
Josh Padley.
Who?
Josh Padley.
Oh, the dude that fought Mark Chamberlain. Still don't know him really.
Yeah. So, Josh Padley, who is currently 15-0 with 4 knockouts. Shakur had the option, it felt, just based off of what was reported yesterday, to either fight Josh Padley or a Cuban fighter who is currently over there in that area named Jadir Herrera, if I'm not mistaken. He is a southpaw Cuban with punching power. I can't remember what his record is, but I think he has maybe like 16, 17 fights with like 14 knockouts or something like that.
Yeah, 16 wins, 14 knockouts.
Yeah. So high knockout ratio, southpaw. He's a bit on the shorter side, 5'5". To be quite honest with you, just personally, and Jay, I think you feel the same way, I would have preferred to see him take on the Cuban. Number one, I think the Cuban would have been a stylistic matchup that would have been a little bit more interesting. But then maybe it gives us a little bit of insight into maybe how, a tank fight might go, or at least he could project that he is taking this opponent on because his aspiration is to fight Gervonta Davis later on in the year. And this guy would be kind of a litmus test or a bit of preparation for a fight like that, since they have similar stature. They're both southpaws. Probably don't fight the same, but still. But he chose Josh Padley, which we knew he was going to because he's kind of like a Joe Cordina, if you will. And that's what Shakur wanted to face to begin with. Can I totally blame Shakur Stevenson in this situation, Jay? I cannot, because it's last minute. They're scrambling. They have to fight. They have to find someone who is readily available and able to fight on short notice. So I can't be totally mad with Shakur. They got to do what they got to do. But still, I am a bit disappointed that we're getting, this fight, Josh Padley versus Shakur Stevenson, instead of Kid Austin. That was the fight that I was most looking forward to on that card. Jay, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. First and foremost, definitely want Kid Austin, wish him the best if he is actually sick and everything. I still don't like the allegation that his dad is putting out there against Shakur. Is strong allegations, and that could lead to some lawsuits on there against him. All the stuff that he's putting out, trolling everything. That's why we took the stance we did, especially thought he was trolling about this again on that. But most importantly, wish Kid Austin the best, speedy recovery if he is actually sick and everything. Josh, I figured he was going to pick Josh Padley. We were talking about beforehand, before it came out. We look at the options, and I was like, this dude has 15 wins, only 4 knockouts. He's not a big puncher, so that works perfectly for Shakur to really make him look good in this fight here, which he wants to bounce back from after his last 2 fights. They weren't the best showing. So if he can get this fight going here and really handle this guy, it'll be good for him. To your point, also, I would have preferred him to pick the Cuban. The Cuban does have power based on his record. I haven't seen the kid fight yet, but based on his record, he's 16-0, 14 knockouts, southpaw. That's one thing you would think that he would have been posturing himself to show that, hey, I am really looking for a Tank fight. This guy might not be Tank, but he is a southpaw. He's about a similar height and stature as Tank. So at least we can give me a look, at least, at the very least. But hey, he still has this fight coming on the 22nd. He's getting a stay busy fight, so we'll see what he does after this fight here.
We'll see what he does after this fight here, but my guess is that he's going to try to get to Williams Zepeda. That's my guess. Um, I don't know why he wouldn't go straight to Gervonta Davis. I think Tank wants that fight. I think Tank would be interested in taking that fight. Um, Shakur has already stated that he's not interested in unifying titles. So why would you go after Williams Zepeda?
Yeah.
And I know Zepeda doesn't have a title, but really, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Williams Zepeda? Maybe that's the reason why, because Williams Zepeda at one point was his mandatory, right? So maybe that's the reason.
Zepeda was all 4 belts at one
Yeah,
point. He was
yeah.
all 4
So
belts.
maybe that's the reason why he keeps calling Zepeda. But you could easily play Zepeda some step aside money in order to make a Gervonta Davis fight. I would rather see them go down that path than a fight with Williams Zepeda. And I think Shakur makes a great option next for Gervonta Davis. I don't think Lomachenko is going to be willing to fight. I don't know who else has some name value and name recognition that Tank would want to face in a big event. It's always going to be a big event if it's Tank, but just having a bit of name recognition can help sell a fight. So we'll see. It's an interesting dynamic, and again, I'm just disappointed in the whole situation with Shakur and Kid Austin, and I think regardless of what actually occurred over there in Riyadh, I think this is a step back for Kid. Because I think regardless, some people are just going to be like, dude, you should have made it happen. You should have something doesn't fit. It's very weird. The whole situation is weird. And then what his dad came out with afterwards is just weird. It just feels like a clown show, man. And that's part of the problem. It just makes them look bad to me. Even if he is sick.
They didn't pull out. The British Boxing Council pulled him out, or ones that pulled him out. But still, though, all the clown stuff that he was saying beforehand and everything, it didn't help anything out. So I mean, Kid could actually really be sick, but all the stuff that he put out that makes it look really bad. It makes people don't care, and that's because of what his dad was putting out there.
So who's defining that he's sick, and how are they defining it? Meaning, is it something in his blood that they are able to? Because when somebody says that they're sick, they just say that I could just tell you right now that I'm super sick, and there's nothing that you can, like, if my stomach is hurting right now, there's nothing that you can do to test whether or not my stomach truly hurts me. If somebody says that their back is hurting, there's nothing that you can do to truly, even if you do, what do you call those scans?
MRI or CAT
Yeah,
scan?
MRI to see the muscle. So what? Just because the muscle isn't like torn or anything like that doesn't mean. So I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. But you guys let us know what you think in the comment section in regards to this particular topic. Shakur has his new opponent lined up. Let us know if you are excited about Mr. Josh Padley and if you believe that this will be a competitive fight. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media, and we are out.